Alright, welcome to the inaugural installment of what I will now refer to as the Dr. Disaster Daily Show. A show where you can reasonably expect to hear from me 5 times a week, Monday through Friday, in lieu of the normal essay form videos that I make, where I load it up with all these different movie clips and humorous little jokes and whatnot. In lieu of that, which takes me, unfortunately, many hours to go through and put together correctly, in lieu of that, I am going to be doing this more off-the-cuff type content, so that I can come at you and speak to my audience on a more routine basis, because it's just been too long. I miss you guys. I miss talking about Star Wars and Marvel and Lord of the Rings and the state of the entertainment industry. So without further ado, let's take a look at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, a movie that I assure you I will never go and see. I am done and over with giving Disney any of my money. I don't even have my free Disney Plus subscription anymore. I used to be receiving that for free from my Verizon. I guess it was part of my Verizon package, being a customer of theirs. They gave you Disney Plus for nothing. Well, you know what? Free was just too much money for me to be giving to Disney. There's no way. Because I know that they get something from Verizon for the opportunity to have me as their customer, to claim that I am one more subscription. At the very least, that's what they do. And that's too much. Because I don't get any value from it. I get negative value from having Disney Plus in my home, from having things like Turning Red available to my children to just be able to turn on and see. Nope, not gonna happen. Any of the old stuff that they've done, like Star Wars, I already have it on Blu-ray, I already have it on DVD. I don't need Disney Plus to watch that. And anything new that I want to see, well, I mean, I'm a space pirate after all, so, you can make a guess as far as how I will eventually watch this content, if I so choose, which probably not. I just don't care anymore. They have nothing to say to me until they renounce all of this woke nonsense, which has permeated all of their material. It's just not going to happen. I don't give a rat's ass.
IDGARA. I don't give a rat's ass.
Take a look at this article from Bounding Into Comets. Alleged Marvel insider claims Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 floundering at the box office could be the beginning of the end for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, I do have news for you, Mr. Insider, if you are actually an insider. The beginning of the end was one of 3 things. It was either Captain Marvel, because that movie was dog shit. It was possibly, arguably, the first film where they started to embrace identity politics, really embracing it. I guess you could maybe even argue that Black Panther was. Not because that was a bad movie. I actually liked Black Panther for the most part, but there were a lot of people that embraced it just because it featured an African American male as the protagonist, as the main protagonist. So there were a lot of people giving it what I consider to be undue support for. I mean, it's a fine movie. There's nothing wrong with Black Panther. It just wasn't that good. People made it seem like it was just the coolest thing ever made, and that's just not true. That being said, though, so it was either Captain Marvel, it was Black Panther, or it was Endgame. I mean, take your pick. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I guess this is all just splitting hairs, but yes, this is definitely Marvel on a downward swing. Nobody cares about these movies anymore, or at least nobody beyond the really hardcore Marvel fans. You know, the Disney shills, the people who want to live in the past forever, that want to live in the glory days of Disney forever. I suppose you could make an argument that that's me, wanting to live in the past in Star Wars forever, but not really, actually. I'm not really clamoring for anything new in Star Wars. I don't need anything new. To me, Star Wars could just be 3 films. It could be episodes 4, 5, and 6, and then just be done. I don't care. I don't even need the prequels. I like the prequels. They're okay. But I certainly don't need the sequels. Not unless they actually have something of value to add. And that's just the thing. They don't have anything valuable to add to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, other than just some retreads. That's all they're doing. They're putting out new versions of old things, and by new versions I mean, you know, they race swap or gender swap or whatever. Characters that we already did see movies for. You know, we have a new version of Thor or a new version of Captain America or whatever. It's stupid. It's just gimmicks. It's gimmicky. I'm not a fad follower. I'm not a guy, if I see somebody else, like those tribal tattoos and shit that people were putting on their skin, you know, in the last 10 to 20 years. And you know what, if you're somebody who has ink all over you, you know, my wife does, for example. She has tattoos. I'm not giving you crap if you have tattoos. But I think it's pretty easy to say that that's a fad. That's something that, you know, some people saw other people do, maybe on TV or something, and they go, you know what, I want to do that, I'm going to do that too. That's not me. I don't do that stuff. And that's what all this race swapping and gender swapping is. It's a fad. It's something I don't think that will last long. There are a lot of people out there who have got their ideology wrapped up in this. So this is going to hurt more for them when this fad ends. You know, it's not going to be like when disco died, you know, well, I guess I'm just not going to wear my big ass shoes anymore. You know, I'm not going to do this stupid dance anymore. It's not like that. This is going to hurt a lot more. But jumping into the article anyway. An alleged Marvel insider recently shared his thoughts that if Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 flounders at the box office, as recent projections indicate it will, it could be the beginning of the end for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This inside information comes amid recent reports that the film's projected box office continues to decline towards Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania territory, a film that lost on the conservative end $40 million for Marvel Studios. You guys remember my last video where I was ragging on Marvel once again, talking about all the films that had come out in the last few years and how it had lost them a bunch of money. And do any of you remember in the comment section all those Marvel shills that were going, "Oh my god, you don't know what you're talking about. Me. Well, you know what? Seems like maybe I did know what I was talking about. This movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, lost them money. Just like I thought it would, just like you thought it would, and just like anybody who realizes how toxic all of this bullshit, this woke nonsense is. We knew it was going to suck. We knew it was going to lose them money. This is not a surprise. You'd have to be living in a cave somewhere to think that this was a surprise, to be shocked by this. There's no way that you could be shocked by this. Even people, I mean, let's be honest, even the people who adhere to this woke crap, deep down, I don't even believe that they are shocked by this. How could they? They know at the very least that what they're pushing is divisive. They know it's divisive, and that roughly half of the people, at least here in the States, half of the people are going to be completely repelled by whatever the hell it is they're pushing on us. Disney is floundering. All of their films are floundering. I mean, look at Peter Pan. Look at what's the one that's coming out here? Little Mermaid. People don't care. If you put out an old story and just change the skin color of the characters involved, it's not interesting. Like I said, it's a fad. It's a fad. Anybody could do this. Anybody could do that. That'd be like when Christopher Paolini wrote the Aragon book series, and he basically just took the Star Wars story and put it, set it to the Lord of the Rings backdrop. The same basic premise of Star Wars. Farm boy who discovers some power and then goes and gets training by some lost master to go and fight a family member who has been corrupted by the ultimate evil in what he literally calls the Empire in that book. The Empire is what they're fighting against. So, not to go off on this big tangent, but that is just a superficial characteristic. Aragon is a superficial characteristic. He's still a white male, but he was just Luke Skywalker put in a completely different backdrop. In a more high fantasy Lord of the Rings styled backdrop, and anybody can do that. That's easy. It's why I don't hold those books in very high regard. I read the first couple and went, wait a second, this is basically just, the second one made me think of Empire Strikes Back. I'm like, wow, this is not new, not good. And I stopped reading those. That's the same thing, when Ironheart comes in and acts as the new Iron Man, you're like, dude, that's not even new. This is not interesting. It's not interesting. I don't care that you have a young black girl in a heroic role. That doesn't bother me. I don't give a rat's ass to anybody who goes, oh, you're just racist. How? I have nothing against the young lady who plays that character. I have nothing against wanting to even have somebody like that in a story, but don't replace old characters. That's all. If you do that, I don't care. I don't care. Anyway, projections at Box Office Pro claim the film will only bring in $115.2 million in its opening weekend. This is significantly down from its initial long-range projection, where they claimed it would bring in anywhere between $120 and $155 million in its opening weekend. And actually, you know what? Let's take a look at what it actually did bring in, if we have that information here yet. Alright, according to Google, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 opened with $17.5 million in its Thursday shows and has begun its run with an estimated $114 million. So they made about $114 million in that first weekend. So this is roughly accurate. It said it will only bring in between 110 and 118 million. That was apparently roughly accurate. See, first, WDW Pro relayed that he obtained information that Marvel Studios is expecting the film to do even worse than predictions from Box Office Pro and Variety. Apparently, allegedly, even though I cannot verify it, that, in fact, internal numbers are beginning to look worse than what we are seeing on Variety and, of course, Box Office Pro as well. In fact, Marvel is seeing that their number is looking more like 108 million for the weekend. That's right, domestic box office, and that would bring it below this low mark 110. Not only that, but because they may be worried that 108 is actually where this thing is headed, well, that's getting awful close to Ant-Man Quantumania territory, and that's somewhere none of them ever believed this movie would go. I mean, yeah, let's be real, Ant-Man's cool, but Ant-Man is not what Guardians of the Galaxy has become within our culture in the last decade or so. Wow, weird to think, actually. The first Guardians film came out in 2014, I think, so almost 10 years ago. And, here we are, 9 years later. The Guardians have been in, obviously the first two films, then they were in the two Avengers movies, and now this. This is kind of like the fifth Guardians movie, and, I mean, they're a big part of the cultural zeitgeist, I would say, at this point. Everybody uses memes and whatnot from those films. I Am Groot is universally recognized and beloved at this point, which is kind of strange considering we didn't know who the hell these characters were, let's be honest, before that first film came out. I barely knew who they were, and I'm a major super geek. But yeah, they're falling apart here, guys. This is not good for them. Yeah, they're falling apart here, guys. If Guardians of the Galaxy can do poorly enough that you have to be, worried if you're a Disney fanatic, if you're someone who's involved in Disney from a financial perspective, you have to be concerned. If Guardians of the Galaxy 3 can lose money, which it very much looks like they will, anything can and probably will lose money at this point. Like, what is there to be confident in? What movies do they even have coming out? Secret Invasion? Does anybody care about that? I haven't heard anybody talk about it. I don't think anybody cares. The Marvels comes out in November. That movie is going to absolutely crash and burn. Nobody cares.
I don't care.
Echo. I literally don't even know who that character is. Granted, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan in the world. I have always preferred DC, though the DC films were never my favorite. I preferred the Marvel films, but the characters in DC, I definitely preferred. Anyway, I don't know who Echo is, and Loki season 2 is supposedly coming out. Ironheart's getting a show. Agatha is apparently getting a show. Daredevil gets another show. I know that Blade is supposed to come out, but there's rumors that Blade is going to be put on the back burner or something because of the writer's strike. I don't know. I didn't know at this point that they even had writers. I thought they just were winging it as they went. I mean, not literally. I know that they have writers, but it's pretty shit, man. It's pretty bad. And, I've been telling you this. I've been saying it for literal years. I've been saying it. I've been saying it. I've been saying it.
I've been saying it. I've been saying it for 10 damn years. Ain't I been saying it, Miguel? Huh? I've been saying it.
They are not making money on Disney films. And good. Until they actually start putting out something new, piss on these guys. You don't need to support them. I don't recommend that you do.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.